Hi there. I'd like to talk to you about what to do when you come across a skein of yarn or scraps that have no ball band and you don't know the weight of that yarn. Maybe you'd like to use the yarn for a pattern, but you aren't sure if it's the weight that you need. So there's a technique that you can use to get a rough idea and sort of get you on the right path. So you'll need to determine how many wraps per inch you get with your yarn. And I put the acronym right up here, WPI. You might see this in a pattern or even on a ball band. I have this handy sheet that I downloaded from Noble Knits, and I really like this sheet because it lists your yarn weight, the type of yarn, the wraps per inch, and the correlating gauge. So it gives you a little more information. If your pattern lists a particular gauge, then you can sort of match it up with your wraps per inch. So let's go ahead and get started. Now for this technique, you're going to need a knitting needle. That's the most convenient thing. You can use a pencil also. The circumference doesn't matter because you're going to be wrapping loops around and measuring the length of these loops all lined up. So I'm going to start with this yarn, and this is kind of on the heavier side, but not quite sure eyeballing it what it is. So what I'm going to do is simply wrap my yarn around my needle. I'm going to hold it with my thumb, and I don't want to do it too tightly, and I don't want to do it too loosely. And then I'm just going to scooch these down, do a few more. I'm going to be measuring over 1 inch. So I'm going to hold that with my index finger at the end. And usually this first loop I sort of pull away. I'm going to come a little closer to the camera here, and I'm going to use my ruler and see where 1 inch is. It's about right here. So let me go ahead and count my loops. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay, so if I look at my sheet, I have, let's see, 9 falls in the category of Aran and chunky. So just right about there, and then I can see the correlating gauge. I'm looking at probably let's see, 3.75 to 4 stitches per inch. So that will give me a good idea when I'm looking at the pattern that I'd like to use. So you may want to get an average when you're doing this, because there are variables that can make you off by a loop or two. So I'm going to use a second yarn for demonstration. This one is obviously lighter in weight, but not sure what it is. It could be a DK, it could be a worsted. Let's just give it a go here and see what we get. Just have a really relaxed hand when you're doing this. Okay, and here we go. Put it up a little closer to the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Inch is right there. Okay, so let me count my loops. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay, so it looks like, according to my sheet, I'm kind of between I'm right around a DK, light worsted weight, and I could expect 5.5 to 6 stitches per inch. So that gives me a pretty good idea of what I'm dealing with. So hope this helps.